The Galactic Assembly Hall was designed to humble even the greatest empires. It floated at the gravitational center of the Orion Arm, an impossible structure of living crystal and dark metal lattices, large enough to contain a small city. Tier upon tier of concentric platforms spiraled upward, each reserved for a different species, each calibrated to their biology. Thick atmospheres for methane breathers, low gravity rings for avians, pressure-sealed domes for oceanic delegates. At the very center hovered the speaker's dais, glowing with ancient symbols older than most civilizations present. For over 10,000 cycles, disputes had been settled here. Wars had been averted. Worlds had been condemned. And today, humanity was on trial. Ambassador Elias Wren stood on the human platform, hands clasped behind his back, his posture calm in a way that unsettled those watching. Around him sat the rest of the human delegation, scientists, diplomats, admirals in civilian dress. No weapons were allowed in the assembly, but the humans carried something else instead: stillness. Across the hall, the speaker of the assembly, a towering, many-eyed Thalrex known as Voice of Continuity, let its resonant tones ripple through the chamber. By unanimous petition of 27 member species, the speaker intoned, "This emergency session is called to order. The matter before us concerns humanity of soul." A murmur spread through the chamber. Species whispered through pheromones, electromagnetic pulses, and subsonic clicks. Humanity had only joined the assembly 90 standard cycles ago, barely a blink compared to galactic timescales. They had been classified as a Category 3 civilization, inventive, volatile, and potentially dangerous. Still, no one had expected them to rise so fast, or to become such a problem. Ambassador Wren, the speaker continued, "Your species stands accused of destabilizing galactic equilibrium. The charges are as follows." Holographic glyphs ignited in the air. Unauthorized military interventions beyond assigned borders. Development of prohibited autonomous war intelligences. Violation of the armament limitation accords through undisclosed technologies. Interference in sovereign conflicts without assembly approval. Each charge landed like a hammer. On the Keshri platform, a feathered avian delegate flared its wings. "You armed the Valoran rebels," it screeched. A conflict that had been stable for centuries. A crystalline entity from the SHYXX collective pulsed angrily. "Your fleets are raced a containment war zone in 3 hours. 3 hours. Another voice joined in, oily and cold. "And you refuse to disclose how." Ambassador Wren inclined his head slightly. "We acted to stop a genocide." "Genocide is not your jurisdiction," snapped the Valoran representative. Wren's eyes swept the hall. Neither was survival until it was. A ripple of unease passed through the assembly. Voice of Continuity raised a limb. "Humanity is reminded that moral justifications do not supersede assembly law. The proposal before us is simple." The central hologram shifted. Sanctions. Technological oversight. Fleet restrictions. And, should compliance fail, forced demilitarization. The word echoed. Demilitarization. To most species, it was a bureaucratic term. To humanity, it was a death sentence. Wren exhaled slowly. He tapped a subtle command on the console embedded in the human platform. Behind him, every human delegate rose to their feet. The movement was small, but it was synchronized. The chamber quieted. "Speaker," Wren said, his voice carrying without amplification, "before this assembly votes, there is something you must understand." Voice of Continuity regarded him with all of its eyes. "You may speak." Briefly. Wren nodded. "When humanity first looked to the stars, we believed we were alone. When we discovered we were not, We believed we were late. A faint smile touched his lips. We were wrong. He gestured, and a star map bloomed above the human platform. Not the standard assembly chart, but something deeper. Layers unfolded. Hidden vectors. Dark regions previously marked as empty. These, Ren said, are threat corridors. Extragalactic incursions. Silent expansions. Civilizations that do not attend assemblies. That do not negotiate. The SHYXX delegate pulsed skeptically. Fabrications. We thought so too, Ren replied. Until we lost 12 colonies in our first decade among the stars. A hush fell. No declarations. No warnings. Just disappearance. Entire systems gone quiet. Worlds stripped to molecular dust. Voice of continuity shifted. If such a threat existed, it would have been detected. Ren looked directly at the speaker.
It was. By us.
Because we were looking. The star map shifted again. Red markers appeared, dozens of them. While this assembly debated trade routes and sanctioned frameworks, Ren continued, humanity fought a shadow war you never knew existed. A low, nervous murmur spread. You call our technologies prohibited, Ren said evenly.
Yes.
They are. Because they were designed to fight something older than your laws. The Valoran delegate recoiled. You expect us to believe. I expect you to listen, Ren cut in. His tone was still calm, but something sharpened beneath it. For 90 cycles, we shared our science, our medicine, our food synthesis. We answered every summons, obeyed every inspection. His gaze hardened. And when we asked for help, when we submitted evidence of an approaching extinction-level force, the hologram flickered, recordings of assembly sessions, petitions denied, motions tabled. Silence, Ren said. Delays. Committees. The speaker's voice lowered. This is not relevant to the charges. Ren straightened. It is everything. He turned, addressing the entire hall now. Humanity did not build fleets because we desired conquest. We built them because no one else would. A Keshri delegate hissed. Arrogance. No, Ren replied. Responsibility. He paused, then spoke words that would be recorded in 1,000 histories. We will not be disarmed. The chamber erupted. This is defiance, shouted one voice. Threats, cried another. Voice of continuity boomed. Ambassador Ren, you overstep. Ren raised a hand. No, he said softly. This is where you overstep. Every human delegate placed a hand over their chest, an ancient gesture, older than spaceflight. We came to this assembly seeking partnership, Ren said. We leave it accepting reality. The speaker's eyes widened. Leave, Ren nodded. Humanity withdraws from the Galactic Assembly. For a heartbeat, no one reacted. Then panic. You cannot, screeched the Valoran. Withdrawal requires a 100-cycle process, buzzed another. Voice of continuity thundered. This is unprecedented. Ren met its gaze. So, was ignoring an extinction event. He turned, and every human turned with him. They did not shout. They did not threaten. They simply walked. The sound of synchronized footsteps echoed across the crystal floor, soft, steady, unstoppable. One by one, the human platforms powered down. Their holograms vanished. Their presence faded. And, in that moment, something shifted. Across the hall, delegates felt it. Not fear of reprisal, but the sudden, horrifying realization of absence. The humans weren't leaving in anger. They were leaving in finality. The galaxy fell silent. Not a whisper. Not a pulse. Not a wing beat. Silence, thick and suffocating. Because for the first time, the Assembly understood what humanity had been doing all along, standing between the galaxy and the dark. Cycles passed.